I was lucky that Connah's Quay came along. You know, I'd obviously left Airbus in the summer, followed the league, was aware of an ambitious chairman and a club who were saying a lot of right things. And the opportunity came along. I managed to get an interview, made the right impression, and before you know it, 2 days later, you've got your first training session and you're heading into that first game against Carmarthen. I actually at that moment was waiting to get back with my family and the players. You want to share those special moments with your team because they pitter away very quickly, and that initial moment is so special. And so I did the interview, and you know, I guess the rest is history. I just gave her a kiss on the cheek and ran off. It was a huge, huge game for me personally, for many reasons. You know, a club I'd left, and it was an incredibly satisfying moment for me. I owe Wes Bain still owe him a drink for that.
Cwpan Cymru 2017-2018 yn mynd I Nghei Connah.
There was something special about winning the Welsh Cup, and you know, I was quietly confident on the day because we were in a good space and playing well, and the game couldn't have worked out any better. Celebration at the end of the game was because we had the Aberystwyth fans behind us, and I had about 20 minutes of banter with them. You're writing history. The club that hadn't been to these places and won these things, and again we got another trophy. You'll probably be waiting for me to come out with a kind of a Roy Keane comment on, you know, I remember the defeats more, but I don't. I know how hard it is to win something, so to enjoy that, and I know the journey that we went to get to the final of the Iron Brew and the Welsh Cup that year, and I know how hard we worked. And again, it's that game of football, and you know, you're in the lap of the Lords, and a lot of it is fate and what's meant to happen. Sometimes it's not your day, and you have to take it on the chin and move on very quickly. Where this game is different to others, the other games and huge games I've had a level of expectancy. I called a meeting with the staff in the afternoon, and it was basically, listen, if this gets messy tonight, let's make sure that we're ready afterwards to address the players about how well we've done and to let the result go, because you know, I had visions of it getting really difficult. So with the victory, for me, came a bit of numbness, really. Even driving home after the game, it was still like, if we just beat Kilmarnock 2-0 at their place, at home in Europe, and it was an incredible achievement. But again, it was different to everything else because I never saw it coming.
Cwpan ola'r gêm. Mae Nghei Connah 4 pwynt ar y blaen.
The title's great, and it's something that you'll always be able to reflect on. But the moments when you actually have victory, those celebrations that you have with people that you've worked so hard with over a period of time, people that you've got great relationships with, they stay with you for the rest of your life. And we never had that, you know, and that's probably the only downside of it. Who knows what would have happened over the next 6 games? We never will know. But we were in an incredibly strong position, and you know, TNS were faltering at that time. It's not been clever after the event. Those were actually what was happening, you know, and I would have backed us at that point to go on and do the job. Well, like I say, we'll never know. This is my 5th year at the club. I've been nominated every season. I thought I might get it in the 3rd season when we won the Welsh Cup and we qualified for Europe. It didn't go that way. And then this year, you know, it was probably impossible maybe not to give it to me, but I'm incredibly proud because I wanted to get it. It's not something you talk about, wanting to be man of the year, but when the nominations came and I'd get an email and it would just say, oh, we've gone in another direction this year, I was always incredibly disappointed. And it came as a surprise at the time, the way it was presented, and again, it's got, you know, it's got a special place in my house because it means a hell of a lot to me. You know, there's so many games that have meant a lot to me, and they're always, the moments are always after the occasion. I've got to be careful as well now because I feel really emotional about this one. you know, my older brother, who was my hero growing up, and I always used to say, you're going to come and watch me play. And I played in the Premier League, and he never came. He said, if you play for Scotland, he says, I'll come and watch you. And I never got to play for Scotland, and then obviously go into management. And I said, are you going to come and watch me manage a game? And he said, if you get to the Iron Cup final, he said, I'll come and watch it. And we played the quarterfinals. We won that. My brother fell ill about a week before that. You know, a week later, Ian passed away. And I remember going into the game against Edinburgh City, and it was a full house. And I knew that beating Edinburgh would mean that we'd go to the final. I didn't know at that time it would be where I was born, in Inverness. I just felt something that night. I felt he was with me. And obviously it went to penalties, and I sat in the dugout and I had a picture of my brother. And obviously it came to the 5th penalty where we're going to the final if Wildie scores. And Wildie's missed it. And I looked down at my phone and I had a picture of him, and I just thought, you're making it tough. And then obviously John pulled off an incredible save, and I just walked out, and the celebrations were going on, and it was magnificent. And I just felt an emotional moment, and it was so special. And the day the Iron Brew game was totally different. It was about getting there, because I knew he would have been there. I'm very fortunate to be managing in this league. I never lose sight of that. Getting challenged every weekend. The drive is still strong in me. Would I have thought I'd be here having this interview with you 5 years down the line with what we've achieved? No. But you don't know what your journey's going to be.